Welcome home, Mother.
Those were the last words the 38-year-old Kelley McCollom and her boyfriend, Matthew Szejnrok, would ever hear. The voice belonged to Kelley's own 16-year-old daughter, Julia Egler, standing in the shadows of their Florida home with a loaded .38 special revolver. What followed was a premeditated double murder that would shock the quiet community of Palm Bay, Florida, and expose the dark reality of a teenager's carefully concealed rage. But perhaps most chilling of all was what came after the killings. Julia's Oscar-worthy performance on a 911 call, crying hysterically while she pretended to be the terrified survivor of a home invasion she had staged herself.
He broke into the house and I didn't have time to grab the phone, so I...
Do you know who the man is?
No, I don't know who it was.
Is he still in there?
I don't think so. I hid in my room for like a really long time. I don't even know how long it's been.
Okay, you've asked her how long it's been.
I'm not sure.
What did he look like?
It's hard to remember, but I think he had, like, I don't know, like, he was normal height, I guess. If I had to guess, maybe like 5'8", I don't know. And
is he black, white, Hispanic?
I'm not sure. I think I didn't really look that good. I only got like...
What did he do once he got into your house?
Well, there was... I don't think the door was locked, but I don't think he knew that there was a hammer by the back. And,
was it your hammer, or did they bring it with them?
It was just the house hammer. It was just by the back.
Never know.
It was just by the back. And they grabbed, I think, based off the sound, they grabbed it and broke in the window.
They broke the window with a hammer that you already had in your yard?
Yeah, with the glass.
Okay, take a deep breath. You haven't heard them in a while, right?
Oh,
was there only one person that you saw?
That I saw, yeah. There was one person.
Okay, and where are you in the house right now?
I'm just in the living room.
Okay, we already have help on the way, so just take a deep breath, okay?
This is the disturbing story of teenager Julia Grace Egler, who crossed the ultimate line and thought she could get away with it. Palm Bay, Florida. Population, 119,000. A quiet coastal city where violent crime rarely makes headlines. The kind of place where neighbors wave from their driveways and kids ride bikes until the streetlights come on. But inside the home on Benshore Road Northwest, a different story was unfolding. Julia Grace Egler was struggling. At 16, she was navigating not just the typical challenges of adolescence, but also her gender identity transition, a journey that her mother, Kelley McCollom, didn't fully support or understand. Text messages recovered from her phone painted a disturbing picture of her mental state. She described feeling trapped, invisible, replaced. Friends would later tell investigators the relationship between Julia and her mother had grown increasingly toxic, with arguments erupting daily over everything from household rules to Julia's identity. The situation escalated drastically when Kelley started dating Matthew Szejnrok, a 22-year-old man barely 6 years older than Julia herself. Court records showed Matthew had previously been charged with domestic violence in relation to Kelley, but the couple had gotten back together. For Julia, Matthew represented everything wrong with her life. Another person her mother had chosen over her. What we see here, in retrospect, according to the opinion of those psychological experts, are years of tension rising to a head. Small fractures in their mother-daughter relationship had grown into an irreparable chasm, and the arrival of Matthew was merely the match that ignited an already volatile fuse. It was not a crime of passion. It had been methodically planned for weeks, maybe months. Julia knew exactly where her mother kept the .38 special revolver. She'd been thinking about this, turning it over in her head, rehearsing the sequence of events. On July 6, 2024, Julia made her final preparations. She fetched the Smith & Wesson revolver from her mother's bedroom, loaded 6 shots into it, and grasped a chef's knife from the kitchen as backup. Then she waited in the darkness of the family home. The digital clock ticked past 10 p.m., then 10:15, then 10:30. At 10:34 p.m., the sound of a car pulling into the driveway broke the silence. Keys jingled at the front door. Kelley and Matthew had returned from their evening out, unaware they were walking into an ambush. As they stepped through the doorway, Julia emerged from the shadows. "Welcome home," she said, and opened fire. What happened next took less than 5 minutes, but would shock even seasoned investigators for its calculated brutality. Kelley McCollom was shot multiple times near the entrance. She probably never saw it coming, never had a chance to react or to plead with her daughter. She fell where she stood, her life ended by the child she had raised. Matthew Szejnrok's survival instincts kicked in immediately. Terrified and desperate, he ran toward the bathroom, leaving a trail of blood that investigators would later follow. But there was nowhere to hide in the small house. When the bullets ran out, Julia didn't stop. She grabbed the knife she had prepared and continued the assault. Matthew, wounded and knowing that death was imminent, reportedly begged for his life, begged for mercy from a teenager consumed by rage. In one last act of cruelty, Julia went back into her mother's bedroom, reloaded the revolver with a single bullet, walked back to where Matthew lay bleeding, and executed him by shooting him in the head. The house was silent. 2 people were dead. And Julia's work was just beginning. But from the moment investigators stepped into the house, something didn't add up. Detective Mike Rodriguez, a 20-year police veteran with the Palm Bay Police Department, could instantly point out inconsistencies. The glass from the purportedly broken door was lying atop the blood, not beneath it, meaning the door had been shattered after the murders. Not before bloody footprints throughout the house matched Julia's shoes perfectly. There were no signs of forced entry beyond the staged door, no missing valuables, no unknown DNA anywhere in the house. Most damning of all, the murder weapon was found precisely where Julia had left it, under her own bedroom window. When detectives confronted Julia with these facts during interrogation, her elaborate performance began to crumble within hours. The tears dried up, hysteria faded, and the truth emerged. "I just had enough," she told investigators in a flat, emotionless voice. "I couldn't take it anymore." She talked about feelings of rejection and lack of support in her gender transition. She described her mother's relationship with Matthew as the final betrayal. She admitted to planning the murders, executing them, and attempting to cover them up. Julia Grace Egler was arrested on July 7, 2024, and subsequently charged with 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder. A Brevard County grand jury took into account the calculated nature of the crimes while making the decision to indict her as an adult despite her age. She is currently being held without bond at the Brevard County Jail. Because she was 16 at the time of the murders, she is not eligible for the death penalty under Florida law. If convicted, she faces mandatory life in prison. The case sent shockwaves through Palm Bay and beyond. Chief Mario Augello called it one of the most tragic and complex domestic cases our city has ever seen. The community struggled to reconcile the image of a troubled teenager with the reality of a cold-blooded killer. Kelley McCollom, 38, was recalled as a mother doing the best she could under tough conditions. Matthew Szejnrok, still just 22, never got a chance for his life to really get started. 2 families were destroyed. A community was left to wonder how this could happen. The case of Julia Egler is a harbinger of painful questions as relates to family, mental health, and violence. Was this tragedy avoidable if Julia had received proper mental health support? Had there been any warning signs that were missed or ignored? How does a child become capable of killing their own parent? Statistics indicate that there are about 300 parents who are killed every year in the United States by their children, with 75% of those cases involving firearms. Most perpetrators are between 16 and 24 years old. Julia Egler has become another data point in this horrifying trend. As she prepares to face trial in 2025, the justice system must grapple with a fundamental question. Is Julia Egler a cold-blooded killer who deserves no mercy, or a troubled teenager who snapped under unbearable pressure? The jury will decide her legal fate. But the deeper questions about what drove a 16-year-old to commit such unthinkable acts may never be fully answered. Julia Egler's story serves as a dark reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers come from within our own homes, and that family dysfunction, untreated mental health issues, and access to firearms can create a perfect storm of tragedy. The sound of that 911 call, with Julia's fake tears and calculated lies, still haunts the people who have heard it. A chilling reminder that evil can wear the mask of innocence, and that sometimes the monster isn't hiding under the bed. Sometimes the monster is family.